So if you're like me and you're surfing around on Amazon for like fuse boxes and things like that, you've probably seen this a bunch of times. Let me see if I can open it on camera here. Alright, nailed it. It's kind of a dumb PDM. And what I mean is not a smart PDM, so like a not programmable PDM. Today we're going to take a look at it. We'll see what makes it tick, see if it's any good. Could you use it in a car? Let's find out. So, before we do any testing, let's take a look at what we have here. It's a decent enclosure. Main input stud, the triggers, the outputs. Obviously this is not a sealed enclosure, no IP rating. And in the lid, got some spare fuse holders. It's pretty cool. Set that aside. And here's the actual board. I've done some testing off camera, and the common here is ground. These triggers for the relays are positive triggers. You can invert it, but when you do, none of the LEDs will work. Of course, they're, biased incorrectly, so they won't work. So you can negative trigger it, put positive here, negative here, but the LEDs will not turn on. This is a one of the first things that I noticed was the naming. This reminds me of something that's like meant to be PLC controlled. This is not, from what I've seen of this, I don't believe this was designed for automotive. Although it is 12 volts capable. And as you can see, the fuse sizes are crazy. 40, 30, 25, 25, 10, and 30. Now they are all 40 amp relays, as you can see in the corners. But I think there's one of two things possibly going on here. Either the PCB architecture is only allowing those currents, or this is kind of like a pre-designed device for something like, I don't know, it could be anything industrial, like a irrigation system or something like that, So, main input power is here. Of course, the size of the cable that would be attached to this would be dependent on what fuse rating you would place, how much amperage you're going to pull. So you might not want to exceed those values. But in any case, main power there, ground there, we'll turn the power on. And you can see some LEDs light up. Now, through a little bit of messing about, I found out that those LEDs are showing that make it closer here. The normally closed output pins are active. Now, if you want to change those relays over to the normally open, you apply power. You can see that one. You can see that one, right? Normally closed side to the normally open side. That's being done in each one. So this one's switching to this one. This one is switching to this one, right? The four other relays are just individual outputs. You can see these trigger here. Alright, the first one's that one, second one's below it, third one's the middle top one, fourth one bottom middle. So this thing works fine. I haven't found any issues with how it works. It appears to be designed quite well. Whether or not it can sustain 40 amps on that one relay, I don't know. You know, that's you know, maybe saying a lot. But we can hook things up to this and manipulate it, of course. So we've just added this headlight as a circuit, and we can trigger its relay like so. Right? Very straightforward kind of situation. One of the other features of this device is that they do have fuse blown LEDs. So if you pull that out, or if you were blew the fuse, right? That's of course always a nice feature. It's simple to add, so it's kind of weird when a device like this doesn't have it. Let me turn this the right way. These two commons, they are electrically identical. So ground can be hooked to either one. And remember, this is just the ground for the triggers for the relays. So this is like a 20 gauge wire in an automotive setting. Or less, you know, 22, 24, whatever, something very tiny. And you don't need to hook both of them up, but you could, I guess, if you want to. Well, time to see what the bottom looks like. Actually, that's a pretty well made case with the ribs. So, what do we have here? This is actually pretty well made. Much better than I would have thought for, I think these are like $30 or $40. Double bonded fuse holders, that's nice. Why is this, wait, which one are we doing here? Yeah, this one. Why is this only capable of 10 amps according to the legend? I guess it does have the smallest trace on the entire board for, but this could easily probably flow 20 amps. Interesting. I don't see any defects. It's actually, this thing's actually pretty well made. There isn't really anything to say about it. At its price point, this is actually quite well made. I wanted to see what the voltage drop was from the input to the output. .058 volts. It's actually quite good. 14.3 volts, 5.187 amps. So let's see the voltage drop of the second position. Much worse. The third position. And we're at the fourth position here, measuring the voltage drop. And the fifth position. Oh, that's interesting. Isn't that the one that's supposed to only be able to do 10 amps? Yeah. Interesting. And here we are at the sixth position. Okay, interesting. So why is that one only 10 amps when it has such a good voltage drop? So if I was actually using this in a car, I'd probably do something like this. You know, put a 8-position DTM pigtail for the inputs. You know, throw a DTHD on your main stud, DTM on the output, or if you're feeling frisky, you know, a DTP and a DTM, depending on current. That way you could make this unplug from the car. This thing is super close to being like almost useful for an automotive situation. If it had some edge connectors, you know, it'd probably be in pretty good shape. And if you need one of these, I will leave a Amazon link in the description so you can get your own and fiddle around with it, blow it up, you know, whatever you want to do. They're only like $30, so I mean,